Hey there, everybody. This is Virtua Cat here, and I am joined by Draco Falcone for this open race that has just started. How are you doing, Draco?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, Virtua?
I'm doing well.
So we got ourselves quite a race today. We have 15, I believe 15 racers today in our open race, 2 o'clock daily. Looks like we have Mekon, Digidude22, Death King 2, and Mr. Paws. Hopefully we should be expecting a good seed today. I did see that the tree pool was bombs, which is a very, very nice thing to see early on, especially for Kakariko Well, Blind's Hut, and the like. Also, a weapon if they want to check escape at all. Looks like we haven't seen too much in the way of noteworthy items just yet. I did see the blue boomerang and Uncle's on Uncle. Uh, did I see that right? Was that the flippers on Lumberjack Lead? Well, we'll see how the crystals and pendants pan out in the Dark World, but there is a very, very high chance that Aghanim 1 will need to be defeated this. And it also looks like Mekon did find his first sword upgrade. Unfortunately, I did not see where that was. Alright. Mekon's going to give us a look here into into Blind's Hut. And so far, it looks to be hearts, bombs. Oh, and there's the flute. That's very nice to see early. Very nice, quick transportation. And thank you, chat, for helping me out. Apparently, the first sword was underneath the water at the dam. So very, very early spot. Every runner should be getting that relatively quickly. Meanwhile, Death King going through escape. He's over at Zelda's cell. We should see in a few moments here what is behind that. Didn't see anything of note with Mr. Paws over at Mini Moldorm Cave. Oh, I missed the hookshot apparently. And was that the hammer in the bottom of the Kakariko Well? We have a lot of major items early in this seed today. Alright, Mr. Paw is going to go ahead and give us a look at Ice Rod Cave, and it's just 10 arrows. Looks like our runners that have found the flute have gone ahead and activated it, so they'll be able to travel around much more quickly. And I saw the map check from Death King. Looks like we had the Ren Pendant over Eastern, and I believe that was Crystal 7 up on Tower. Unfortunately, I missed what was on Desert. Alright, so chat, thank you for helping me out on that. So, also big thanks to one of our trackers, Red Armor, for keeping me update on those crystals. We've got 2 crystals in the Light World and 1 pendant, which is something you do want to see. Early Light World crystals are usually a lot easier to obtain than Dark World ones. And it looks like that was just 20 bucks up on the library, so we probably won't be seeing that. And looks like we won't see the race game either. That looks to just be 10 arrows. Looks like Mr. Paws and Death King are both making their way to Blind's Hut. They'll get their flute in short order. Mekon going ahead and draining the dam. He'll get his first sword. And it looks like our runners are just checking overworld locations, pretty much checking spots that the other runners have already checked, so we're not getting too much in the way of new progression. So our runners should be able to do most of Eastern. They won't be able to clear it if they wanted to, even though it is Red Pendant. They don't have the bow. No one has access to Desert yet, and no one has... we can reach Death Mountain, but we can't reach Tower of Hera. Actually, no, I stand corrected. With the hookshot and the hammer, we would be able to reach Tower of Hera. So, that said, I'm wondering how many people start making the Death Mountain play, and it looks like Mekon might be the first one to... Alright, Mekon bringing the old man back to his home, and he'll get 20 rupees for his trouble. Oh, Digidude trying to make his way over towards Ice Rod Cave, but seems to be having some troubles getting over there. Hopefully, hopefully he doesn't take another hit, because he might have to back.
I mean, we are off to a very mobile start here with the flute and the hookshot. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. Yeah, we are all over the place here today, aren't we?
Yeah, the overworld has been very, very friendly with items so far. Although, Lumberjack Ledge has the flippers, and there's a good chance those are going to be needed.
Yeah, they'll only be 100% needed really if Swamp or something is in like on the Lake Hylia Island. But if it is a pendant, and even if ice is a crystal, we should still be able to get into ice. We got 2 other racers doing dark rooms here. Looks like this should be the old man dark rooms.
Yep, it is most likely. Yeah, they should be the old man's dark rooms.
Mekon dropping down to the top of Paradox Cave here. Old man only paying 20 rupees. Still more than a Borderlands voice actor gets, though.
Oof, okay. And that looks to be a power glove up in the upper half of Paradox, or lower half, I should say. Looks like we're just a moon pearl away from general Dark World access.
And we just saw on Death King 2's screen that the Red Rupee is on Lake Hylia Island, so we are not necessarily AGA 1 required just yet.
Nope, we're not going to know for sure until we get a Dark World map check. And Death King 2 about to get his hook shot. And as I suspected, Mekon going to be the first one to make the Tower of Hera play.
Yeah, we got 2 items in here. We also got 2 hint tiles. We do not have a fire source quite yet, so unless this is the big key, we are fire locked out of Hera. Oh, it is. So the big key will be here, but there is a sword upgrade in the coffee break room.
Depending on where the other copies of the sword are, that might be something they come back for.
It's a good placement for that hint. That's a it's a time waste, but the benefit from going to master to tempered is pretty massive, and if that's the only other sword that we find, then they'll have to do that. And there's another sword hint. Something sharp requires a bomb, and that is vague, but I know that our first sword came from the dam, so we know that there is a bombable wall somewhere. Sounds like a hype cave type situation. So who knows?
And as chat's pointing out, that could be in quite a few places, including some spots in Ganon's Tower as well.
Yeah, it could be Rando Room, could be Ice Arbos in GT. That's requires a bomb is almost as vague as requires the hammer.
Meanwhile, Mekon going ahead and taking down Trolldorm with very, very little effort. Very nice fight. Gets a small key for the basement for his troubles, and his first crystal and the first crystal of our match.
So we got somebody finishing Hera, somebody in the middle of Hera, somebody starting Hera, we got somebody on their way to Hera.
Yeah, given the combination of flute, hook shot, and hammer, not surprised that the Tower of Hera play was on everybody's mind.
Nothing too much came out of it. We'll check here with Spiral Cave. Hopefully we'll be seeing a Moon Pearl pretty soon here.
See a couple other places we haven't seen. We haven't seen the back half of Hyrule Escape yet. I know we don't have a lamp right now, but we do have the gloves, so checking back there is not impossible.
And we could find another sword back there too, because that does require a bomb for those 3 chests.
And I think Mikan had picked up Ether very recently.
I don't know, he can take out the Undertaker at WrestleMania 9 with that Ether. That's a reference.
That is quite the reference.
Oh, Digidoo taking a tough fall on the Mold Worm. Thankfully just off the side.
Trolldorm strikes again. He left the orange barriers down though, so he's able to get a quick heart top off on his way back up. Mikan checking Desert Ledge, only seeing a red rupee. I guess he looks like he's going for a Gina's Cave. Can't blame him when he's over. And Mr. Paws gets his first crystal. Digidoo takes down Trolldorm and will get his first crystal. As Death King 2 makes his way up the tower. Well, we have our first bottle, and it was over in Agina's Cave. So, anytime we head back to Kakariko, I'm sure a check over at Sick Kid is probably in order.
Yeah, and depending on that B in there, might be able to get a sweet 100 rupees. And Mikan's going to make their way over to Sahasramala.
Yep, who I did see earlier didn't have too much of note in his closet, but nobody has dipped Eastern yet, so if he heads there, we might see some new stuff.
Yeah, just 3 separate trash items for Mikan from Sahasrara. Bombs, arrows, and rupees.
Indeed, and it looks like Mr. Paws is making the Back of Escape play. Although now that I think about it, I guess Back of Escape doesn't necessarily qualify for the requires bombs, because the Pegasus boots could access this room.
Oh, and there's the Moon Pearl.
There it is. Alright, that is Dark World access.
So Paz is going to be making their way up to Dark Kakariko, the village of thieves or outcasts.
Yep, can't blame them. This is a very popular spot to start their treks within the dark. Mikan picks up his Moon Pearl, and now he's ready. Digidoo making his way into Escape. Unfortunately, he's not going to find all too much down here.
Alright, so Mr. Paz is... Oh, and Swamp is a crystal, so Aga required this seed. 5 and 6 in Thieves Town and Misery Mire, and Green Crystal at EP, or not EP, Pod, and Blue Crystal on T-Rock.
Alrighty, yeah, we definitely have ourselves an Aghanim 1 seed.
Mikan's going to be showing his Hype Cave, while Mr. Paws gets 10 arrows from the chess game.
And chess game not paying out too well tonight, but Hype Cave starting off strong with a sword upgrade. And then peters out from there with heart piece, rupees, and arrow.
So to even get those flippers, we still need to see a lamp and a pair of boots. we have knowledge up to the Tempered Sword, but we still need a fire source to get it, and feeling like wasting the time.
Yep, and the hint from Tower of Hera should have been the sword that was over in Hype. Looks like Mikan's making his way over to the digging game while Mr. Paws begins to dive into Thieves.
That was the... Sorry, never mind. And Sick Kid gives a bug-catching net.
Is this even randomized?
Oh, and in the late 20s for Dix there for Mikan, just to get 10 arrows out of it.
Yeah, unfortunately that was a bit of a time sink and a money sink. Well, he got most of his money back from actually digging, but... Ooh. Looks like Digidude's making his way over towards Hype Cave and pick up his sword upgrade.
Now, forgive me, I missed the first couple minutes of the race. Which of our racers know that Aga is required, and which ones don't? Who saw the Lumberjack ledge?
If I remember, it was Mikan, Paws, and Digidude. I think Death King, was the only one who didn't. I might be mistaken about that.
Alright, now Pause is making their way through Thieves Town. We're going to check this hint up here. And just some rupees behind something that you can hammer down.
Which, as we mentioned before, that is a very vague hint. It looks like Death King is going to be the first one making a dip into Eastern, so this is going to be all new checks for us.
Oh, and there's the mirror in the first chest of EP. That is a very handy find.
That is nice.
Mirror, mirror in my hand, take me away from the Golden Land. That is going to just add to that mobility there.
And we would only be a glove upgrade away from backdoor desert access and mire access. Assuming the Ether Medallion is Mire's medallion of choice this season.
A unique item in the sewers.
So Dark Cross is not out yet.
Oh,
That is a tunic upgrade over at the Maiden's Chest in Thieves Town, so defensively our runners will be very well off.
yeah, always nice to have that kind of early, and especially against Blind, where if you don't know the script, Blind can be a pretty gnarly boss. It's getting away a little bit from Paws there, but he should still be able to take care of it. That blue mail helped him out quite a bit there.
Looks like Mr. Paws didn't have too much trouble with that blind fight.
And that is 2 crystals for Paws, 1 blue, 1 red. And Digidu giving us our first look at Skull Woods.
Alright, gets a small key early so he won't have to go through the trap room.
He misses the pot throw on the Gibdo, but sneaks by anyways.
Gets a big key for his troubles, and with the chest right here, he may... Yep, looks like he's contemplating the bomb jump.
Good bomb jump. Scary to do with low health, too.
Yep, it is a shame though, and he only ends up getting a compass for his troubles on that one.
And no items in the front part of Skullwoods, meaning that we got 3 more chests to check, and two of which are fire locked. Mikon takes down Blind 2, gets away from him there a little bit at the end, but overall, good fight. So Deathgeek is going to be able to check a couple other locations with that mirror in his hand. He's going to be able to check Pyramid Ledge, Graveyard Ledge, and Cave 45, the cave south of the Grove. Everybody's just kind of retreading familiar ground from the other 4 racers here. Digidu is going to make their dive into Thieves Town. That is the most convenient place to go for them at the moment. It is a crystal. There's 4 items, 100% complete.
And unfortunately, Death King taking a unfortunate death trying to get to the back item in Skullwood.
Yeah, Death King's having just a little bit of trouble here in this room. He's going to get it, though. Oof. And Mr. Paws taking a death there, too.
And Digidude not faring too much better in the Thieves Town hell.
I think Mr. Paws was intentional because he is going right back out to the back of Escape. See if Mr. Paws is able to get who's in this chest. It is Bottle.
And technically a unique item.
This dude is playing life on the edge here with a heart and a half. And Mikon is making the choice to go to Pod right now. That could feasibly be bow-locked. I don't think Mikon has a potion either to do the potion glitch.
Yeah, this is an interesting play, I gotta say. Oh, he does have the money for Kiki, so he will be able to get in. It would just be a question of if the first chest is a small key or not.
Mikon does get a small key in the shooter room of Pod, so we do know that it is not bow-locked, at least at this point. Obviously you have to have the bow to get to Helmasaur King, but most of the rest of the dungeon is accessible to him.
Yep. But like you mentioned before, he doesn't have the potion, so he can't potion glitch past the Red Igor. Or Red Mimics, excuse me. I did just realize that I got that name wrong.
Hey, how many people know the names of these enemies anyways?
True.
And Digidude stunning one of the green knight people.
Well, Mikon found Bombos in the Vanilla Big Key chest and powder below it. So that is all 3 medallions for Mekon. So Turtle Rock and Meyer are now guaranteed access for.
And Mikon saves and quits out of pod. He is not going to check the back of it. He does not have the lamp, and I didn't know if he even had keys to get to the back of it at that point.
That was what I was thinking. He might have been short keys to get to the back. They might all be behind the potion glyph. And this looks like Mekon's taking a Batman check.
Digidude is fake flippering to the hobo.
And since he has the Moon Pearl, I have a very good feeling he will be following it up with the Waterfall.
Oh, and there is the bow from the bat, a cursed bow. And that's going to make both EP and pod clearable.
Well, granted, they are both pendants. They would probably only be cleared in the event we find out it's a pedestal seat.
That's true. He also does have a light source, but I know Mekon's good enough that he knows his dark rooms around. And yep, he is going right back to pod with this.
So yeah, pendant pod with the powder to get the bow. So if you do clear pod, it is a required double.
Mekon making good use of that hammer to get rid of that terror bird.
Ah yes, those birds are always a pain. Looks like Death King is going to go ahead for his blind fight.
And we're going to get the waterfall chests here from Digidude. And we'll be able to see what is in here. Oh, he's going to throw in some bottles first. And filling it up with a fairy, that is not a terrible investment there. He's going to come right back in and going to check these 2 chests. Bombs and a blue rupee, so not too much there today. Ten arrows. This dude did not have enough money for Zora. He's about 155 rupees short. Mr. Pot's giving us our first look at Cave 45 here. Cave South Grove. And just a heart piece. And the back pod is full of keys so far. And Mekon's going to take us down into this dark rupee room down here. Now, interesting note, like in the next version, in version 31, this room is not going to be considered lamp locked. You will be able to use the fire rod to light those torchifers, I think is the actual term for them. Speaking of, that fire rod is on Pyramid Ledge, so the lamp could be in this dark room. This dude's going to show us our friend the catfish. We are going noodling today. And I didn't see what this dude got there from catfish. I just saw that it was red. And he was just walking out of the cathedral, so he got the mushroom.
Everybody loves fetch quests, don't they?
I mean, I'm fine with them. Look, it's neat.
I mean, to be fair, fetch quest got them the bow. So I'm gonna guess Mr. Paws actually did have a potion on hand for the potion glitch and was able to get an extra key in order to get to the back half of Pod.
Mikan's about to get his hammer, or his mirror here. That's about the exact opposite of a hammer. And this dude is going to be taking on Mothula here soon.
So unfortunately, I had to step away for a moment from a phone call. Where was the fire?
It was on Pyramid Ledge.
Ah.
This dude giving us our first look at the fire rod locked portions of Skull Woods. Oh no! The Bari got him back into the Sealing Master. Put him right back out here at the start. Thankfully, that's not too far of a walk, but a little bit demoralizing there.
Those hands get you when you least expect it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a time save in that room where you can walk in like a corner where you don't think you can. But when those Biribaris don't play nice, good use of the Ether Tablet in this room. Oh no! Least expected.
Alright, our runners seem to be having some mild difficulties with Wallmasters today.
Graveyard Ledge on Mika's side only having 10 arrows. And we are going to be seeing Mothula here in just a moment. It's kind of a tricksy boss here. If Mothula is touching a spike, they will not take damage. You're also on a multi-way conveyor belt floor, and there are random spike traps moving around, and this dude makes that seem relatively easy. Took a couple hits, but just the map on Mothula, meaning that chest on the lower half at the start is going to have a item in it. Mothula is or Skullwoods was a crystal though, so this still needed to be done.
And unfortunately, Digidude is the one racer without the mirror right now, so if he does opt to check it, he's going to be having to either save and quit, death warp, or take the long way.
I feel like this has to be something here. And it is. It is the Titan Mitt. So that opens up a lot more of the game. That opens up Ice Palace. That opens up Misery Mire area. This is big.
Along with Mire, they get to backdoor into Desert. Well, Digidude will be able to when he finds his mirror eventually, but once the other runners complete Skullwoods, they'll have backdoor Desert access. Also, the Titansmiths would also allow them to do the Blacksmith and the Purple Chest. And it looks like Death King is indeed going back for his Tempered Sword upgrade since he knows it's back here.
Yeah, Death King's been having a little bit of trouble with some of the enemies in the game, and this is going to give him a leg up on that.
Indeed. Unfortunately, not quite getting coffee break strats, but does still have a fair chunk of health left, so he should be fine. So we don't know where the boots are. We know the flippers are on Lumberjack Ledge. We don't know where the lamp is.
So honestly, the red cane is probably the thing our racers want to find the least right now, because that opens up Blue Pendant Turtle Rock.
Well, it's also a good thing to find because of Crystal Misery Mire.
That's true. That's true. But they want to see that cane as the last item that they find. Because if they find that cane, they may have to go through there for the boots. They may have to go through there for the lamp. It could be tough.
Also of note, the Cane of Burna was on the floating island. Wonder what Spike Cave might have.
I don't think I'll ever be able to pull that hook shot skip off there. I mess it up every single time. Oh, and there's that red cane.
Super Bunny had it. Oh boy. And with this being this close to Turtle Rock, do you well, to be fair, Digidude also does not have the mirror, so he's going to need to find um he's going to have to take a little bit of extra time to get himself back to Light World Death Mountain.
Does Digidude dive Darapin Druck?
You really you really stretch with that last one there.
There's the eyes are on there.
Wow.
Too.
Okay, that's
Oh, and there's the boots.
All right. Hookshot Cave became worth it. Although unfortunately the ice rod is being this close to Turtle Rock now really really makes you wonder.
The game is just kind of nudging you with the elbow. You should really go to Turtle Rock, dude.
So it looks like Digidude's heading towards the Mire and Desert area. Although it's gonna be Mire since he doesn't have the mirror. And there's our last sword upgrade. Now we know where all of them are.
Yeah, I feel like we don't see a game where swords aren't in GT anymore, but we have all 4 swords accounted for at this point.
And yep, Digi's heading into Misery Mire. It is unfortunate that Mikan unfortunately was not able to locate a Book of Medora before clearing Skullwoods. We're gonna have to wait some extra time before getting a pedestal check, just in case anything of actual importance is on. Which, now that we know where the Red Cane is and that Turtle Rock's not required, probably is very, very likely to be not the case.
Mikan getting his tempered sword as well. Good use out of the game area for Digidude.
Indeed. Quite effective.
Digidude, dose.
Also note, we really haven't located the silver arrows yet, so hopefully our runners here might be proficient in silverless if they don't turn up.
Mikan showing us that desert is boots locked itself with the big key on the torch.
Yep, and we know the boots are over in Hookshot Cave, so hopefully he makes the decision to check out Dark Death Mountain. Right. And fortunately just bombs over in Checkerboard Cave, so the mirror on its own not doing too much for us right now. Looks like Mr. Paws is going to go ahead and get his tempered sword. He gets the coffee break strat, so he gets to easy mode this room just a little bit.
Looks like Pause is probably using a drip copy machine instead of like a French press or something.
There he goes. His Keurig finally finished pouring that cup for him.
I'm petitioning it to be a rule in the next tournament that if you go to that room, you do actually have to go and pour a cup of coffee. It's the Willard rule.
Looks like Mekon finally making the decision to check out Dark Death Mountain and Hookshot Cave in particular. He'll be very happy to find the boots.
Mr. Paws finding out. Oh, and there's the lamp in the big chest of Misery Mire. So that is essentially. Is that go mode for us, technically? Yeah, I think it is. I think we're in no mode.
I think we are indeed in no mode. Digiju just needs to dip Eastern Palace for one chest. And then he should be in pure go mode once he goes and does Aghanim 1.
Well, he'll have to get that bow from the Magic Bat, too.
Oh, yes, I just noticed he didn't have, and to do that, he needs to dip Pod for the powder. Unless, has he turned his mushroom in? I guess that's the other question I need to ask there. Is he
hasn't. He may do that. He may do the powder glitch.
Yep, that would save him a trip into Pod.
Mekon's going to go ahead and finish Desert while he's here.
Can't necessarily blame him. It is a crystal after all.
It is required to beat the game. We're getting Vitreous Bomb strats. Turns out, if you put a bomb in your eyeballs, it hurts.
Ooh.
But he does take a death there, but he's got that fairy, I believe. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Nope, it hurts just as much as getting an eyeball slammed into the side of your body. That is most unfortunate because the hike back down is not the shortest.
No, this is from the beginning of the dungeon to the boss, this is probably one of your longer hikes. Not a lot of really straight paths you can take. You can just dash through. You don't have a safety door like you do in T-Rock. Probably the only one that's worse is Swamp.
Meanwhile, Mekon taking out the Landmos over in Desert with very, very precise spin strike. Mr. Paws is officially our first one on our restream to officially unite all 4 of the sword upgrades together. He now has his Butter Sword. Definitely nice to have, although not nearly as important as getting to Tempered Sword.
Yeah, going from Temper to Butter is like one small step, but going from Magic to or Master to Tempered is like one giant leap. And Death King 2 is finally going to be able to get into the back of that statue room. Congratulations.
And gets his Quake for his troubles. Which, unfortunately, we now know isn't actually of any real benefit to progression.
And round 2 against the sentient pool of eyeballs. What are they floating in? Like, is that I don't know.
I don't know, and I honestly don't think I want to know.
Chat, get your guesses in on what the eyeballs are floating in. Now.
He's down to half a heart. He does need to be careful. And with the eyes dying off, yeah, Vidi himself will fire his lightning bolts faster and faster, so
he is out
so
of bombs as well. This is scary.
Yep, spin strats would be the next best thing.
Yeah, I don't like the angle he was standing at, and right before I said it.
Unfortunately, not able to pull it through this time. So opts to save and quit and start back at the Sanctuary. Meanwhile, Mr. Paws continues to comb through Desert. Death King 2 is making his way towards Mothula.
And Digidude is going down into the Dark Cross room. He's going to find just a bottle there.
Mekon making use of his bug net and actually catching a fairy. Can't necessarily say I blame him. And Mr. Paw is taking out the landmo's with spin attacks with his butter sword. Gets his crystals for his trouble.
And Digidude is going to go ahead and head back over here to the Kakariko area. Probably going to do Smith Chain, maybe. No?
I mean, he could do Smith Chain now that he has the mitts. It would be it'd be a world tour considering he doesn't have the mirror.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how fast Mr. Paws is doing that as opposed to Digidude going to be able to do it without the mirror.
Like, I'm not even, because he's coming over here to do hammer pegs. Does Digidude even realize he doesn't have the mirror? Having just a tiny bit of difficulty with hammer dash, so opts to go the long route.
Mikan goes ahead and kills Vitreous and gets 3 bomb berries for his trouble.
But more importantly, gets that crystal.
Hammerpeg's just having an empty bottle for us today.
And if I recall correctly, I think that is all 4 bottles accounted for. Well, Mr. Paws definitely just saw the lumberjack ledge again if he didn't the first time, and I would assume he probably is going to go ahead and make his way. Yep, he flew back to Link's house, so I am thinking he's going to finally make the castle tower climb. And yep, it looks like Digidude is indeed attempting the fake potion glitch. Or fake powder glitch, excuse me, I misspoke. Although he seems to not be having an easy time of it. And unfortunately, it looks like he's going to save it for later, which is unfortunate given the fact that it's the bow behind.
Digidude just having a couple of just unfortunate incidents here today.
Well, Digidude is in the right place for at least one thing. Because we do know the powder is here in Palace of Darkness. And Death King 2 is gonna finally get his Ice Rod and boots. He'll be happy to see the boots.
Yeah, Hookshot Cave coming up big today. And Mikong, the first of our restreamed runners to take on Aga.
Let's see how many blue balls Aga decides to torment him with this.
None so far. Yeah, this should be a 0 blue ball, Aga. Oh, nope. One extra attack here, so...
Yeah, no,
let's
this
see.
one could be.
Nope, no blue
Oh,
balls today.
wow. So many things I could say to that, but I'm just gonna go ahead and keep quiet.
I have no shame. Mikon is making his way straight over to Ice Palace. But did not get the flippers first.
And if I'm seeing this right, him grabbing the flippers here should put him in go mode, except for logical issues with the lamp.
Yeah, but at this point, he just needs to do Swamp and Ice, and there are no dark rooms in either of those, nor GT.
So with that said, 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 53 seconds in, Mikon is our first runner in go.
Mikon, knowing that being in go mode, he does not have to do that bottom room with that the Pingator room there, so he is just on his way. He's got the Cadence Mario. He knows how to do a bomb jump. He is going to wreck some Cold Stare Ice and then make their way over to Swamp.
Oof, and unfortunately, Mr. Paws takes a hit from an enemy in a very, very unfortunate spot while fake flippering or while water walking, and unfortunately has to save and quit because of it.
Good firebar room there from Mekon. And just gonna fall in here. Gonna drop the block and then just go and melt some cold stare. Good cold stare there from Mekon.
Yes, very clean. He's able to keep everything tucked neatly away in the corner.
Digidude buying some bomb upgrades. We're going to refill his bombs there up to 15 now.
That's something you don't see every day with the bomb capacity change. I think he's our first runner to check King Zor, see how badly this pays out for him. Yeah, it's just a hard piece. Actually, I think one other runner might have checked him already. And since Digi is clearing Ice Palace with not being in go mode, he will have to check additional chests.
Digi still needs to go and actually get his flippers. He did fake flipper over here at Ice Palace today. Oh, and he gets pushed back by the orange block. Getting a hint for what is it? Yard ledge. Mekon is blazing through Swamp Palace here, already to the back of it.
And now I realize why Digidude opted to pick up that bomb capacity upgrade. He's not having the best of times with the Ice Palace bomb jump. Does finally get it.
That was very close because that fire bar was right where he was.
Indeed, and with that low of health, he was not living.
Death King is checking out Spike Cave.
Well, he did pick up the Cane of Burner earlier, so not surprised he'll check this. Someone would check this event. just 50 rupees.
And that is crystal number 7 for Mekon. He's going to be making his way up to Ganis Tower. So we do have like a game that we like to play. Chat, just get your guesses in. There are 22 possible locations in Ganis Tower where the big key could possibly be. We're going to go in the order that Mekon opens the chests. So get your guesses in. The big key is going to be in one of those 22 locations. Draco, where do you think that key is going to be?
I'm going with chest number 6 today, which, if he does left side, should put him in the Dark Magician room.
I'm going to go Fire Snake room, which I think is normally number 9.
If he does left side, I believe it's Fire Snake.
Yeah, I think it's 9 if he does the 2 hope chests first, and then left side.
You're referring to the Vanilla Compass chest, right?
I don't know the vanilla game.
Yeah, the 2 fire bars is I think it's either 8 or 9. Fire Snake room I think is a little later on because it's after no, because it's right before Rando room. So yeah, it could be 9.
Yeah, I think it's 9. Whatever, it's the room with the 4 fire snakes. I don't care what number it is. I'm here to talk about Zelda, not to count. And there are 3 cold stairs on the screen, and only 1 Digidude.
Unfortunately, wasn't able to keep them cooped up in the corner like Mekon was able to, but oh well. Not the easiest thing.
And Mekon makes his way into GT, and it is time to count chests.
I thought you were here for Zelda, not to start counting.
It is what it is. Chest number 1 is the big key.
It's in Hope Chest, okay.
Like, that is the fastest possible start to a Ganis Tower. He needs 1 chest, he needs 1 small key and 1 big key to make his way up the tower, and he gets both of those in those first 2 chests.
Well, at this point we can pretty much confirm he'll be doing Tempered Silverless for the Ganon fight, because I do not expect him to open any more chests to check for Silver Arrow.
Congrats to both Glymon and Shyrist, who both guessed 1. We're not going to go based on like who picked first. I mean, you still had to pick a number 1 through 22. It's you're both really great. Mekon just bursting through that gauntlet. It's going to be taking on Land Mode 2, the sequel to Land Mode 1.
The snake statue, the snakehead statue with its fireballs giving him just a little bit of trouble. Almost had the one side.
Here's one of my favorite rooms in the game. This looks really impressive when you first see it, and turns out it's not terribly too hard to do, but killing all three of those with one Mario block is really neat to see.
And then this room, you killing 3 with the block and then swinging with the last one is also nice. So Digidude does finally have his mirror, finally dipping into EP to get.
Yeah, Digidude still needs to get his bow though.
Indeed, now that he does actually have the powder, he can get that.
So there are 2 locked doors on the way up to GT. This is why Mikan only needs 1 key though. One of those little mini Helmosaurs will carry it. I like that conveyor spike room strat there for Mikan. And, fills himself up with a fairy and fills up his magic. He is going to go take on Moldorm 2.
And honestly, at this point, I don't expect him to check his last possession treasure chest.
I like to see people open it. It's a neat little chest. Oh, and he does, and it's 300 rupees.
Well, I guess I was wrong.
Thank you, Mikan. That room is miserable when you try to walk your way up through there, but if you have a hook shot and if you have, which you should have at that point, or if you have boots, it's not terribly too bad if you can time it right. We are on to Aga 2. And no hits there for Mikan on that first shot.
That angling was just unfortunate. Just a tiny bit off on the angles for the.
And there's a triple.
Well, that'll make up for some of it.
And there's another triple. So 0-0-0-3-3 for Mikan. We are on our way to face the big pig, the boss hog, the top cop himself. It's Mikan taking on Ganon.
Did you know half of your grain intake was supposed to be whole grain products, Virtua?
No, but I
you
do now.
Although Mikan's taking quite a few fire bat hits.
And those are 3 hearts apiece with blue mail. We are on to phase 3, and oof! It's hugged by Ganon there, and that is also hurty.
On blue mail, that should be 4 hurts. Although it looks like his teleport patterns are not very friendly this seed. Alright, that one wasn't too bad. That first one was pretty bad, though.
Yeah, you just tired him out there. Oh, and arrows. Did that say Death Mountain?
Unfortunately, I had just seen something another runner picked up, so I didn't get a chance to look at the message.
So Ganon is only going to be damageable in the moment that he teleports with a spin while both torches are lit. Now, Mikan did pull off a torch glitch, meaning that that first torch will go out before either of the other two, before the other torch does. And if he lights it that first time, then the second torch will never go out.
Indeed. Now, if that hint did say Death Mountain, I'm pretty sure that means Silver's would have been in Mimic Cave.
Could be Ether Tablet as well. See, that's what happens if you hit him too early. You get it to where you're supposed to hit him with Silvers, and he freezes. And Mikan's only got a little bit of mana left, so he's got to finish him off, and then he does.
There he goes.
And Mikan is going to finish the first of our runners on stream if he makes it up these stairs. And he does. First of our runners on our stream, second overall with a team of 133.05. We only had one finisher before Mikan, and that was Killer App 23 with 124.42. And let me tell you something, finishing second to Killer App is nothing to be ashamed about. That guy is insane. So GG's to Mikan.
Yes, get your GGs in chat. See, most of you already have.
We'll see if we can get Mikan in here for some interview action. That's my favorite NES game. And we are now joined by Mr. Excitement himself, the bad boy up professional rando. It's Mikan. Mikan, GG.
What is with that title? Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So that went surprisingly well, considering I didn't find anything until about 50 minutes in. And then I was in go mode by like an hour, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah, an hour and 14 you were in go mode.
Oh, was it that long thing? Okay.
Yeah, so just thoughts on the seed in general.
Did the bow mess people up? Because when I found the bow, I was like, of course I have to go right back to pot. When I found nothing there, I thought, well, I bet some people are going to hunt in GT for this item. I have no idea what the lamp is. Is that in Turtle Rock?
Lamp was Big Chest Meyer.
Oh, good.
And yeah, the out of the 4 racers on stream, the only one who was really somewhat close to you on stream still doesn't have the bow.
Yeah, I got lost at a good point to where it to where I felt forced into pod to find that really early. Well, early, you know, comparatively, I guess. I feel like I was probably behind on everything else, but getting the bow where I did just made me go mode so many dungeons. It was pretty great.
Yeah, I think you getting the bow when you did helped a lot, because getting that Canis and Maria kind of early could kind of sort of point you towards Turtle Rock, and thankfully nobody has really dipped it on our streams here, and that would have just been a huge bust, except for maybe Silver.
Samaria... I mean, I guess Samaria was my go mode item, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until I saved and quit after there. I was like, man, I can go into Turtle Rock right now, but I could also do more productive things. I thought about dipping Turtle Rock, and then I went to King's Tube, and I was like, wait, I'm in go mode. So I'm really glad I didn't go into the Turtle Rock then. Looking for that lamp. I was like, during the Meyer opening cutscene, I was like struggling to open up a dark room map of Aga Tower, because that's easily like the least common dark room anyone has to do. I was thankful I had the fire rod at that point, which I don't think I could have not had the fire rod at that point, but whatever.
Which, I mean, that gave us opportunity to talk about some of the changes happening in version 31 with lamp and fire rod rooms. So we appreciate that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, I read those, and It doesn't seem to be like really awful. It'll just be super easy ones, such as
It's Eastern Igor and the Rupee Room of Pod, I think.
Yeah,
Those are the only
I think
two.
those were the two examples I know of as well. So those are like torch right next to the door. You'll be fine. They're not going to make you do Aga in the dark with just the fire rod. It's fine.
See, our racers on stream, we still got Digidude needing to do both Mire and Swamp. He had to back out from Vitreous. Could not take him on without the bow twice. And then we got Death King needing to do Swamp, Ice, and Desert. And Mr. Paws needs to do Ice and Swamp.
I can't believe, after 50 minutes of like, I had what, 2 dungeons done. I can't believe I just got to go mug the rest. That was really great. It was...
Yeah, almost all of the progression stuff was overworld this time around, with just a very few exceptions.
Yeah. I was worried that I wouldn't find the tempered sword, so then I would have to go do a Hera basement right before GT, and I probably would have done that, honestly. I'm that, like, nervously awful about Master Sword Silverless that I probably would have went and got that sword, but thankfully tempered it came around fairly early.
Yeah, we did have a couple racers who did that when they found fire access, and I honestly don't blame them. I mean, it's a huge jump from Master to Tempered.
Oh yeah. Yo, how about that GT big key? That was awesome.
That was awesome. The fastest possible GT big key.
Heck yeah.
Search that you could do. First chest, big key. Second chest, small key. I mean, pretty much everything you could want to find aside from silvers, you had already found at that point. I mean, red mail would have been overkill. You had tempered.
And then we found out later that silvers weren't even in GT, so you would have been, if you were hunting for them, you wouldn't have found.
They were on the tablet, I think?
It's either tablet or Mimic.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And none of our restream runners have found the book, so we have no idea what was on any tab.
Yo, yeah. Vitreous bomb strats, heck yeah. I haven't had to do this in so long.
This is the third time he's done with bombs, and looks like this is going a lot better for him this time. I think he bought the bomb upgrade.
Oh, dude, that's a great reason to actually buy those upgrades. I totally approve of that. I think I've done that myself before. Just bought bomb and arrow upgrades just for Vitreous with like a low % sword or something. Or
yeah, he also bought his bomb upgrades right before going Ice, and I saw he had just a bit of minor difficulty pulling off the Ice Palace bomb jump, so I think he wanted some he wanted a safety net, not having to rely on just a 10 bomb.
Ah, I see. That's fine. You do what you need to do.
Yeah, I love that your GT started out as easily as possible and then finished with 3 zeros on Aga.
Oh my god. Oh no, I can't believe you brought it up. Yeah, that was really embarrassing. At least I got 2 triples right after.
Yeah, like it's just funny as how well that started versus just that little finish there.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably laughing about something, but it was pretty funny.
But yeah, we do have looks like a couple of racers being restreamed today who are like, I don't really recognize a lot of these names, who are kind of new to the community. And for anybody who's watching this who's thinking about getting into this community, one of the most open and welcoming communities, like in terms of gaming, that I've ever seen or been a part of. Hop into these daily races. Don't be afraid to be restreamed as long as you know your stuff and don't have to worry about like winning or anything. It's a really good way to practice. It's a really good way to learn. Watch the restreams. If you are wanting to learn some more execution tricks, watch your restream that you save, even if you're not restreamed on speed gaming, against somebody who was, and see what you did differently that they didn't do and what they did that you didn't do.
Speaking of things I did, I just saw Death King get a hint that there were arrows above the pose. I was so disappointed when there was nothing there. I had spent so long looking for anything, and then I finally went into Eastern and got the mirror. Immediately left, and then I went and did the mirror stuff because I was like, this has to be progression because otherwise I'm screwed. And so I went immediately to the 2 mirror places that were unlocked to me, and both of them were nothing, and I was so disappointed. I was about to walk over to Catfish, but then I, of course, didn't have the flippers, and you can't go that way from there, so I had to take the long way around and finally found the fire rod.
Yeah, I remember like a couple years ago, Pyramid Ledge was something that people checked pretty regularly and pretty early, and now it's kind of something people leap towards later. And I've seen a lot of races won and lost just because of Pyramid Ledge at this point.
Yeah, I think yesterday there was also a really important item on the Pyramid Ledge that I also skipped until just about the same time, the very end. And it got me pretty good that time too. I just prefer doing the Hype Cave over to the Digging Game route rather than the Hype Cave up to Pyramid and Catfish. And then after Village of Outcasts going south and doing that, I just prefer one to the other. And I mean, they both have their goods and bads, as you saw.
I mean, that's just a big part of this randomizer in general and what makes it so fun.
Yes, come play randomizer with us. Everyone, I know some people are worried about, oh, my PB stinks, so I'm going to take like 3 hours, but people don't care what your time is. Just come play, have fun. Everyone's going to be all nice and supportive, and it's super cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of great help channels, and as long as you're not asking one very specific question about how to play the game, then everybody's really welcoming and really happy to help you.
I think nowadays that's my most posted thing in the Discord. Well, we won't get into that. That's fine. Yeah, I'm going to head out. Thank you both for doing the commentary thing, and I will leave you to watching the rest of the finishers finish up.
Hey, thank you, Mikan.
Have a good one.
And we got Digidude doing Helmet Sword King. Digidude, I don't think checked Lumberjack Ledge. Death King and Mr. Paws are both on their way into ice, nearing the end of it. Now, Mr. Paws hopefully has some extra magic potions, either some green or some blue. Otherwise, he's going to have to use the bombos here. And he does so. I also want to say congratulations to Sheer, who finished in 3rd place, and Humbug, who finished in 4th place.
Looks like Digidude is trying to contemplate where where he should be going next to find I guess, if I'm looking at this right, all he needs to find is the flippers, and we know where they're...
Nah, I think, unless this is somebody else in the IRC, I think Digidude has just forfeited. We'll see if we can get him in here, see if he'd like to chat with us. We have S Diesel finishing in 5th with 148. Now we're gonna try to get Digi in here as soon as. Alright, we will be pulling Digidude up here in just a moment. Just letting them get ready here. Now we got Mr. Palace making their way through Swamp Palace. Gonna be their final crystal. Same with Death King, who's about to go into. Hey, Digidude. GG.
Hey,
So, that seed, huh?
that seed. I don't know if it was me mismarking or... Yeah.
Do you want to
What?
know?
What is it you were looking for, and what is it you think you mismarked? It'll probably help you clear up the confusion.
So I thought that pod was a crystal.
Oh no.
No, Pod and EP
And-
were both pendant.
I saw flippers up on the lumberjack tree, and I went, okay, well, if swamp isn't required, then it's not an agaseed.
Unfortunately, Swamp is required, and it is an agaseed. But yeah, the flippers were the only thing you were missing, so all you had needed to do was Aga 1, go claim the flippers, and you would have had everything you needed to claim.
Yeah, that's
Here,
just-
I thought I was in bow mode.
yeah, you were doing really well, and then I think that mismark just kind of gotcha.
Yep.
Like I think you were on your way to, you're well on your way to under 2 hours, and then just looking for those whatever you needed left was just gotcha.
Yeah, sad to go out that way, but
Things happen. We all have we all have our moments.
yep. Oh, I don't think I was looking for anything else. So
Yeah,
lucky.
probably the only thing you wouldn't have minded seeing on the way to finishing was silvers, which were either on Ether Tablet or in Mimic Cave. And considering nobody's found the book, actually Mr. Paws has found the book, but I just don't know where he picked it up.
It was a waterfall room of Swamp. Death King just picked it up as well.
Ah, okay, so it was
Nice.
in Swamp and wasn't picked up by anyone who go moded it. So yeah, it could have been Ether Tablet, it could have been Mimic Cave, and nobody dipped Turtle Rock, so never got to see it. Yeah, nobody dipped Turtle Rock, even though the Cane of Samaria and the Ice Rod were both within walking distance of Turtle Rock.
Yeah, that was a funny one.
Yeah, I thought you were going to head right there when you picked those up. I was like, oh, and if there's something in Turtle Rock, then Digidude just made the play of the game. And
Yeah.
I think
The only-
you immediately left
Well-
as soon as you got those items.
The other problem was he did not have the mirror at that point in time, which was still sitting in Eastern. So he would have had to save and quit and get back to Light World.
Crazy place for that mirror.
Indeed.
Usually I go there right at the start after I've done my South Shore checks. It'll be the third place that I go to, but not today.
Yeah, I always liked if you don't have Moon Pearl, take Thorpering to Hobo, and then just getting off the ladder right there, right before Sahasrahla,
Right.
and just making your way up through that.
Especially if you can't afford Zora at the time.
Yeah, this was a very kind of stingy seed, but with money early on, and later on, people ended up with a lot, but early on, it was just not a lot of rupees going.
Also, that lamp placement, perfect place for it.
Oh man, I think you were the first to find it.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay. I mean, I could do some dark rooms, but not Mire.
Yeah, Mire's always a fun one. And it looks like we have Mr. Paws making his way up Ganon's tower towards Agate 2, and Death King making his way into GT to hunt for his big.
well, folks, I've had something that's came up, so I'm going to have to get out of here. I want to thank Draco. Great job as co-com. Happy to have you. I want to thank both of our trackers. Digidude, I hope to see you racing a lot more. I see a lot of potential there. And everybody else, hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Right, well, I'm gonna get going as well. So
Okay, GG.
thanks for having me.
Yep, GG Digidude.
G.
I guess hopefully the seed doesn't troll you as hard next.
Yeah, I gotta hope for that. Okay, see you around.
Yep, see you next race. Alright, so Mr. Paw is up at the torch room, making his way up Ganon's tower, not too much farther from Moldorm 2. Death King. Looks like Death King is actually going to go ahead and take the safety room over here in the lower parts of the tower ascent. Let's go ahead and refill his hearts there. Looks like Mr. Paw is deciding to hunt a couple extra chests just in the event he finds, I guess possibly looking, just briefly looking for the silver. Because I know he grabbed the key in the first room, so it wasn't that he needed. And Death King just barely missing the one cycle, gets it the next time around. Mr. Paws on Trolldorm takes him down. Alright, Mr. Paws reaching Aga 2. See if he fares better than Mekon. Gets 1 on the first rotation. That's a better start. Nice! Triple this the next time around. Although that blue ball pattern definitely didn't help. Alright, just 1 more for Mr. Paws and he'll be clear. There we go, and Mr. Paws takes Aganon 2 down, and now he's on to go face Ganon. And Mr. Paws going in again with the Butter Sword. He will have an extremely easy time of the first couple of phases. Just 6 slashes or sword spins needed to clear each phase. He's already into phase 3. Death King makes quick work of Moldorm 2 and continues up the tower. Mr. Paws is just about done phase 3. No, he did not find the arrows in Death Mountain, and gets the torch glitch, so he'll have less work to do keeping those lit. Nice triple by Death King right at the end there to finish off Agatu, and he too will be heading for Ganon. Mr. Paul should only be a few spin slashes away from defeating Ganon. Ooh, takes a very painful Ganon hug right there. And Death King opts to go pick up potions. Ooh, that was close. Mr. Paws almost fell on the bottom there from that spin slash. Thankfully was able to recover and continue the... And there we go, Mr. Paws does finally defeat Ganon, just needs to cross the bridge and he'll be complete. And Mr. Paws finishes in 9th place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 12 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. Alright, we'll see. I'll go ahead and see if Mr. Paws will be willing to join me for a quick interview. And Death King 2 wraps up his Ganon fight, walks across the bridge, and he'll be finishing with an official SRL time. Official SRL time, 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 30 seconds. Go ahead and get your GGs in. Alright, trying to see if either of our two runners want to join me for a quick interview. If not, then I guess I'll wrap it up here in just a moment. Alright, everyone. Well, looks like unfortunately I will not be able to get any interviews with the other two runners, Mr. Paul and Death King 2. Obviously, GG's to both of them. Thank you all for participating today. Also, thank you to all of the runners, not just the 4 in the restream, but the other 11 runners that we had in today's race. Some of them are still continuing to race at this point in time. Obviously, GG's for them when they finish as well. Just a heads up. Speed Gaming does have a couple other streams coming up. Speed Gaming, the Speed Gaming 1 channel does have the Ocarina of Time randomizer coming up at 5 o'clock Eastern Time. That's in about 45 minutes. And there's currently a Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland race going on over there right now as well. Probably is wrapping up if it hasn't already. But there are other things that may be going on later today, such as a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer spring race, a Zelda randomizer weekly race. Some of those things may still be scheduled, so keep your eyes out on the schedule to see if those will be broadcasted tonight. Other than that, just want to thank our two trackers, Red Armor and Hibernator. Thank you for your hard work in keeping everything up to date. I know the beginning of the seed was very fun with a ton of overworld items. So thank you for keeping up on top of that, obviously a thank you to Virtua Cat, who did leave us earlier. And thank you to all of you for tuning in today. With that, I'm Draco Falcone, and I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their day.